Hurricane Michael, one of the strongest hurricanes to ravage Florida's panhandle in recent history, left a path of destruction unfamiliar to the Big Bend. As recovery in the communities begin, WTXL ABC 27 presents to you Hurricane Michael, The Recovery.
Thanks for joining us this Saturday morning for our Hurricane Michael, The Recovery Special. I'm Malcolm Hornsby.
And I'm Christine Souders. As we continue the restoration process throughout the Big Bend, many are still left without power. That's where shelters come in.
Our Stephanie Rank takes us to a Leon County high school opening its doors to not only its students, but the entire community.
It's clean, and they had pretty much everything we need for sleeping and eating.
Sale High School, normally a place where students study, is now a place of comfort for residents all across the Big Bend.
We try to let their home away from home, even though it's not, we try to give them a clean and safe environment. We try to take care of them to the best of our ability.
A simple cot just like this one right here provides to those who seek refuge at a shelter not only a place to rest their heads at night, but a sense of safety, a feeling that they probably haven't had for days.
I'm thankful that they have a roof to bring people to, because it could have been worse than this.
The shelter will remain open until there is no need for it. If the school needs to reopen, the Red Cross will move this shelter to another building.
The Red Cross means that we're always ready for change, chaos, and we're here for you.
Bringing good news back to the capital city. In Tallahassee, Stephanie Rank, WTXL ABC 27.
Well, it's certainly good to see people smile. And as of now, the shelter at Sale High School is open and has food, snacks, and water available.
Well, after seeing the devastation in coastal Franklin County communities, one Alabama man wanted to help in any way he could. Our Valerie Mills shows us his incredible support for families following Hurricane Michael.
Dozens of families here in Franklin County are filling their arms with food, water, and supplies, and it's all thanks to Roy Martin. He drove from Birmingham, Alabama to deliver a U-Haul full of these supplies to be given out to families. Martin says the morning after Hurricane Michael hit, he started buying everything from generators to chainsaws to cleaning items. He dropped off a full U-Haul at the Franklin County Sheriff's Office for deputies to hand out to those who are most in need. Martin says getting down to the coast was rough, adding it took nearly 4 hours to drive a few miles on Thursday, but he says it was well worth it.
This place took a huge hit down here, and people don't know about this area. And so we thought we'd try to bring some awareness of what's going on down here. It's been completely devastated. And a lot of people down here don't have anything.
That's why Morton says it wasn't a debate for him. He says helping out neighbors in need, especially during a time like this, is what matters to him. Morton tells me he has a home in Apalachicola that he hasn't even started cleaning up. His main concern right now is helping get supplies to families in Franklin County who need them most. In Franklin County, Valerie Mills, WTXL, ABC 27.
They say a disaster can bring out the best in people, and that's exactly what we're hearing from people living in Miller County. WTXL's Jennifer Myers shows us how this rural community is coming together.
No one is immune to the damage that Hurricane Michael left behind on Wednesday. In fact, this church, Mount Olive Holiness Church, suffered roof damage and siding damage that caused part of their inside to collapse. The church will need repairs, but Jonathan Prickett, the church pastor, feels blessed that the church isn't in as bad a shape as it could be. Many members of the congregation suffered much more, with some having trees fall on their houses. The last 2 days have been hard, but for Prickett, who has lived in the county for less than a year, seeing people come together means a lot.
Before the sun rose Thursday morning, there were farmers on their tractors. They've lost a lot of their cotton crops, their peanuts, but they've put all that on hold. They're cleaning up roads, pulling trees off of people's houses. Just seeing what we've seen so far, it makes you proud to be a part of a community like this.
Although the pastor's home suffered minimal damage, he does have plans to go out and help those in his congregation rebuild. In Miller County, Jennifer Myers for the Raycom News Network.
Now, when disasters hit hard like Hurricane Michael, people are willing to step in and help. But the aftermath of a natural disaster can also be a prime opportunity for scammers. We've seen it time and time again, scammers setting up fake charities, all to take your money. President and CEO of the Better Business Bureau says it's not a matter of if it happens, it's a matter of when.
Make sure that your money is going to help the victims of the disaster that you're sending it to, because if you give your money to a charity that's not using it the way that you want it, you've not only taken that money out of your hands, but you've also taken it out of the legitimate charity that could be doing good work with that money.
So a few things for you to keep in mind. Be careful about email solicitors, because anyone could easily fake an email address to make it look like a real charity. Watch out for phone scammers. Get detailed information about the charity and the program where that money's going, and never give your credit card or bank account information over the phone if you are not sure who you're giving it to.
As many cities and counties are without power, lights and food, some businesses have concerns about possible looters. The Meal Food Mart and the Washbox Coin Laundry in Camilla, Georgia were both damaged in the storm, and officials say people have already looted. Meal Food Mart owner Mike Patel says he's removed some of his items from his store and donated others to the community. The Washbox says they're taking steps to prevent looters.
The owners came by and got all the coins and coin boxes, and that kind of helps discourage vandalism. And then we're getting the equipment out so there won't be any vandalism.
Both businesses agree if you have a business that has been damaged, it's best to board your property to prevent thefts.
Neighbors in Colquitt, Georgia are being asked to boil water before drinking it. Friday afternoon, these pallets of water were delivered to the Board of Education building for people to pick up.
Hey, we're very thankful for it. That they, giving us this water. We really do appreciate it. Every little bit of help.
Absolutely. Officials haven't said when that boil advisory is expected to be lifted.
And several locations across the Big Bend are distributing food and water. For a full list, visit our website at WTXL.tv. And the tropics have been active lately. First Alert Chief Meteorologist Casanova Nurse explains why hurricanes are more likely to form closer to home this time of year.
History and climatology tell us the Western Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico are hotbeds of tropical action in the month of October. The waters in the region don't quickly cool down with the change of seasons. Absent any tropical systems, surface water temperatures linger for a while in the lower to mid-80s. Under ideal atmospheric conditions, blobs of moisture can gather around developing low pressure and become a late-season nuisance. Since 1900, 66 hurricanes have formed in the Caribbean in October, most of them getting their start in the western half of the sea. Many of these disturbances tend to move north, sliding around a high-pressure zone, typically in the Atlantic Ocean, and deflected northeastward by early fall cold fronts sweeping into the southeastern U.S. But when these cold fronts are late in arriving, tropical trouble can sneak deeper into the northern Gulf, putting the gorgeous Florida beaches at higher risk for late-season hurricane harassment.
All right, and let's talk more about what else is in the tropics. Do we have to worry about anything? No, that is the answer. Right now, no. And for the next 7 days, there's nothing that's really troubling us over the Atlantic. And that cold front that carried Michael that has now merged with it, that's really going to allow for strong upper-level winds to not really get anything kicking up over here, over the western Atlantic, and high pressure settled over the Gulf of Mexico. It's too quiet. There's nothing developing there. There's Michael. There's what was once Nadine. It's now a remnant low, so there are no advisories issued on this. So the one system that has still remained through it all for the last couple of weeks has been Leslie. That system out toward the far eastern Atlantic, but nothing else is really expected to impact us. That being said, let's take a look at the overall advisory for Leslie after another look at just how far Michael is pushed away in a short period of time. Upper-level jet stream winds can do this, carrying systems very, very fast. So this is no longer an issue once again. There's Leslie. It's going to likely make landfall somewhere over Portugal, not as a tropical system, though. This will likely die out or at least lose its tropical characteristics before making any sort of landfall. Still, though, very interesting to see a system persist this far to the north and east. We'll have a look at your day ahead coming up.
And we know between cleanup and no power, you just need something good. Tonight, the city of Tallahassee is offering a free movie at Cascades Park as a break from cleanup efforts. The featured movie, A Wrinkle in Time. Activities for the kids start tonight at 6. The movie begins at 7:30.
Coming up, if you have seen power lines on the ground, then I will tell you exactly how to handle them after the break.
Before we go, another look around town at the damage from Hurricane Michael. A tree falling you saw there with pictures and video posted on social media. A tree on a home here, just unbelievable. We're not sure if anyone was inside of this. Hopefully not. Power lines down, several outages across the area. We'll keep a track of this for you. We're back in about a few minutes.
Due to ABC 27's special report, Hurricane Michael, The Recovery, the following programs will be rescheduled. His Kids, originally scheduled for 7 a.m., will now air at 10:30 a.m. Think Big, originally scheduled at 7:30 a.m., will follow at 11 a.m. Shows will return to their normal times on October 20th.
The best way to buy a car
is the Werner way.
Lease a brand new 2018 Sonata for just $209 a month with no payments until April 2019. And get a brand new big screen TV. Stop by today. Werner Hyundai.
Where to go and what to do in Birmingham, Alabama. Personalized just for you. Find your sweet spots at alabama.travel/sweetspot.
Y'all want to hear about the biggest scam ever propagated to the American people? It's an insurance scam, but it's done by insurance companies. Is when they show up at your door the day after the accident.
My favorite.
And they have a release and they have a check for $500 and they say, we're concerned about you. We want to give you $500 for your inconvenience. And then they ask you to sign a release, sign on the dotted line, and then you're releasing all your claims, releasing any money for medical bills, lost wages, pain, suffering, inconvenience. Everything is gone. And then the person signs the release, and then they find out a week later that they suffered a herniated disc, that they're going to need surgery, that it's going to change their life, and then they can't do anything.
This looking like, oh, I'm so concerned, I'm here. Oh my gosh, they were there 30 minutes after the crash. They care so much about me. Really?
Strong storm, the trees are down, and the lights are out.
No air conditioning, no refrigerator.
I get how strong the storm was, but I need my power back.
We get it. We don't just work for FPL, we're customers too.
After a storm hits, restoring power safely and as quickly as possible is our #1 priority. That's why we never stop preparing. We have the best resources in place so we can be ready to respond in good weather and bad.
Storm season is here. We're ready. Are you?
Hey, Mom, it's Ryan Seacrest.
I want to talk to Kelly.
Weekdays at 9 on WTXL ABC 27.
The best way to buy a car
is the Werner way.
Lease a brand new 2018 Kona for just $209 a month with no payments until April 2019 and get a brand new big screen TV. Stop by today, Werner Hyundai.
Welcome back to Hurricane Michael, The Recovery.
Everywhere you go, and we've seen this for ourselves driving around on the streets, debris everywhere, down power lines, trees, you name it.
Yeah, and you know what? Coming across damage like this can be very dangerous. WTXL's Jada Williams is live this morning in Chattahoochee. And Jada, what are emergency crews asking people to do?
If you've been out and about, you have likely noticed that there are down power wires on the grounds, and that's because of the winds that knocked them down from Hurricane Michael. But if you see them, it's best to stay as far away as possible. You know, we did see some utility workers coming in not too long ago to fix things like this down wire that's behind me over in the road and make sure that they are back up as soon as possible and as safely as possible. But until then, it should be easy to assume that because you don't have power in your home that there isn't any power running through those wires, but that is not the case. That line could still be in contact with another source of energy, and that could send a jolt of electricity at any time. And if there is something nearby touching the line, such as a tree limb, fence, or debris, you can still be shocked by touching it.
We have to send crews out there who are professionals who have been trained in this particular area, that are the ones who can tell whether or not that line is energized with the equipment that they have. And so therefore, if you avoid it, don't drive, stay home. I know it might be a slight inconvenience for you, but if you don't have to work and it's not an emergency, stay home.
If someone is injured because of electric contact, don't touch that person. Remember that energy can be transferred and you could be electrocuted as well. And as always, if you see a down power line on the ground, report it to your utilities or report it to 911. Reporting live in Chattahoochee, Jada Williams, WTXL, ABC 27.
Jada, thank you. And in the wake of Hurricane Michael, utility crews are in the trenches to get our communities up and running. As our Ava Van Valen explains, it takes a village to get us back on the grid.
Height of the power outages, more than 90% of residents lost electricity during Hurricane Michael, and many are still waiting for it to come back on. Talquin Electric and the city of Tallahassee are working long hours to get everybody's utilities back on. Bobby Robinson says he's never seen a destructive force like Hurricane Michael.
A lot of devastation countywide here from, 2 or 3 counties wide. Large trees, lots and lots of damage to lots of poles. Large trees coming down on the wire, breaking numerous poles, so it's very widespread destruction across our service area for sure.
Line workers are working 16 hours a day in dangerous conditions, but Robinson says everyone is coming together to help and that they have mutual aid coming from as far as Missouri and Kansas. Talquin Electric Cooperative serves 4 counties, Leon, Gadsden, Wakulla, and Liberty. That's about 52,000 members, and over 90% of them lost power due to Hurricane Michael. As the recovery work continues, Robinson says that with as much damage as Hurricane Michael brought, he thinks line crews have made very good headway so far. Ava Van Valen, WTXL, ABC 27.
Leon County residents who are cleaning up the mess left behind by Michael can get rid of their debris for free at the Leon County Solid Waste Management Facility. People we talked with say many of their homes were spared significant damage, but there is a lot to pick up around their properties. A man who lives in the county's Frontier Estates neighborhood says he was one of the few Talquin Electric members that never lost power, but he's still picking up the pieces.
I'm just now cutting up the oak tree, so I finally got some help with the chainsaw to get the tree cut up. So, and I'm bringing all the debris here to the landfill. So, they're taking all the debris for free. So go ahead and get it over here so I don't have to worry about waiting for the county to come around to pick all the debris up, because it could be a while for that to happen.
Here's a list of places you can drop off debris in Leon County. They'll remain free of charge until Sunday, October 21st. Hours of operations can be posted on our website, WTXL.tv.
All right, after the break, we'll have a look back at the preparations, the storm, and the beginning of the recovery.
But first, here's a look at your pictures. If your streets look like this, rest assured crews are on the way. You can check out these pictures taken by you, our viewers, from all parts of our area impacted by Hurricane Michael on WTXL.tv.
Nobody gets your carpet, tile, or hardwood as clean and healthy as Stanley Steamer.
That's why I call.
Call or visit StanleySteamer.com for local specials.
Stanley Steamer, your certified cleaner.
At Morgan & Morgan, we know an accident can happen anytime, day or night, which is why we stay open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. When you need us, we're here to help. Justice never sleeps. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.com.
A respected judge once told me that all good lawyers are servants. We serve clients, we serve as officers of the court, and we serve justice.
I'm Mark Nani. From the time that Jason and I were brand new lawyers, Vince reminded us that ours is a service profession.
We know good service requires us to keep our clients fully informed. That's why we always promptly return their phone calls.
Call Barrett, Nani, and Hamola if you require the service of a good lawyer.
Strong storm, the trees are down, and the lights are out.
No air conditioning, no refrigerator.
I get how strong the storm was, but I need my power back.
We get it. We don't just work for FPL. We're customers, too.
After a storm hits, restoring power safely and as quickly as possible is our #1 priority. That's why we never stop preparing. We have the best resources in place so we can be ready to respond in good weather and bad.
Storm season is here. We're ready. Are you?
It's not just a donation.
It's a warm blanket.
It's a bottle of clean water.
It's a roof and a bed.
It's knowing someone cares.
It's feeling safe.
It's a today that's better than yesterday.
Every dollar you can spare helps so much more than you can imagine. Please donate now. Your help is urgently needed.
You've seen how recent hurricanes have devastated whole communities, flooding and destroying homes. Join Habitat for Humanity as we work with families to repair and rebuild. You can help someone desperately in need of a place to call home. We will rebuild, but only with your help. Visit Habitat.org to support Habitat's work.
Hurricane season has forced the most vulnerable children into even more danger. Their homes have been destroyed and their schools have been disrupted. The time to act is now, and UNICEF is on the ground, leading disaster response, delivering supplies, and helping kids get back to being kids, reaching the hardest to reach and the furthest from help. Don't delay. Go online or call this number now.
Welcome back to Hurricane Michael, the recovery.
Here's a very quick look at your local forecast for today. Temperatures will be in the lower 80s under sunny skies, so generally pleasant weather is expected. Temperatures tonight, a few upper 50s, but we'll be near 60 degrees. And here's a look at the 7-day. We'll get back to a more warm and above average trend for next week with isolated showers possible.
Michael came and went in the span of a week.
Yeah, but the storm is one many of us will not soon forget. Here's a look back from the preparations to the storm making landfall and now the start of recovery.
The storm has the potential to bring devastating impacts to communities across the Panhandle and Big Bend, and every family must be prepared.
That storm is expected to make landfall along the state's coast this afternoon, but we'll start feeling the effects this morning.
Hurricane Michael strengthening overnight to a Category 4.
This is your Titan radar continuing to show just the sheer size of the storm.
Behind me, this road is flooded, and it has been coming up progressively.
Now we're tracking the storm. The center is prone to make landfall within the next hour or two.
We do have here a fast-moving storm that is going to bring its hurricane forces through with it.
The winds have been consistently strong. Still has the rain.
The wind and the rain definitely starting to pick up.
We're getting more intense feelings from the storm. Absolutely. More reason to stay inside. Do not get in the car or go out.
The danger is out there. So please, if you are outside, seek shelter immediately.
Wow, this is a very nice forecast considering what we went through yesterday.
We deserve some nice weather.
Yes.
I think we're going to get it.
Yeah, it's going to be nice for those of us who are out in the yards cleaning up all the debris. That's right.
A lot of outdoor work to be done.
Well, trees falling in the backyard and stuff, all on the side of the house, and, on the light pole, that's kind of, dangerous.
A 70-foot tall tree in the backyard came crashing into their 15-year-old son's room.
That was hard for my husband and I, because it could have been worse.
Employees here at Gulf Specimen Marine Lab tell me at least 4 feet of storm surge rushed in during Hurricane Michael.
I'm very lucky, and I'm just glad that I'm still here.
As you can see here, trees and power lines are knocked down throughout the area.
We're just working together. Our feet on the ground, pulling together hand in hand.
Judy Bretherick says she evacuated ahead of Hurricane Michael but left her RV behind.
We're just lucky that we weren't here. I've been through a lot of hurricanes. I'm from Pensacola and have never experienced anything like this. People do come together during these times, and it's nice. It's really nice.
It is nice to see those neighbors helping neighbors, certainly in a situation like this.
Really gets you very emotional to see everyone coming together, banding together to help each other.
Yep, and the recovery seems to be going off, and hopefully everything can come to completion soon.
That's all for Hurricane Michael, the recovery.
We'll see you Monday at 5 a.m.
You're watching